Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome to episode 19 of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. We're at the underground recording studio at the former site of the United Army Surplus. Don't worry, producer Grimy got the front door, and we got the man who was the odds-on favorite to win the one and only Madden season, Benny. How are you, brother?
Why do you got to bring that up? Still have bad memories of blowing that game.
It's just, after a championship. And, I thought, I was a champion because I won that league. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, let's talk about that. But you were odds-on favorite. You ran through that regular season like crazy, bro.
I was rolling. And I think I was beating you in that first half. And then I threw a pick right at the end, and it just went downhill from there. And then you took over the second half. Yeah.
For halftime. It was all about momentum there.
Halftime show was way too long.
Oh, and we'll talk about the halftime show in the real Super Bowl. What happened to the halftime show in Madden Bowl? Was it just a barbecue or something like that?
I don't know. Probably, a few drinks, a few other things here and there. So
we'll talk more about that season as we continue with the episodes. But how did you do on Super Bowl weekend? Did you do any, talking about odds on favorite, did you do any gambling?
No, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to. Too much stuff going on Sunday, so didn't get to throw anything down. How about yourself?
I won like $25 on 250.
Nice.
I called Odell Beckham getting that first touchdown. So he helped me that little. I just play those little ones for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The prop ones are pretty fun, getting in.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only action I really play. Like $5 on the weekend. That's my fun.
Oh, yeah. That's my limit too.
We're going to talk about the real Super Bowl and all the action there. We're going to talk about the halftime show. Call to action, actually. Before we move on, don't forget to check us out on social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Ray, Benny Sports. What is the best Super Bowl halftime show that you've ever seen? Feel free to put that in the comments. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. So call to action, get in on that. We're also going to talk about CFL Free Agency, hot pickups, controversial returns, the Bombers, of course. We're going to get Benny's Brickhead of the Week. We're going to give out some hot dogs. But let's start off with our hometown, Winnipeg Jets. Bro, I'm still hands in the air with this team. You can start. Tell me what you think about the Winnipeg Jets, because I don't know what to think of them, bro. I don't know what to think of them.
Dude, they love to get your hopes up. Start to think, they've rounded that corner, and then boom, it's back to, hey, there's the Jets again.
Well,
four games this week, man. 4 games. If you asked me before that, or told me, hey, they'd win 2, lose 2, which 2 do you think they'd win? I'd probably pick Chicago and Dallas that they'd beat. But they went ahead and they beat Nashville and Minnesota, right? They beat Minnesota 2-0. They beat Nashville after being down 2-0. Lose to Dallas in overtime, and then that third last night against Chicago. Man.
Bro, I'm feeling the pain in your voice.
I'm
feeling the pain in your voice. I every time I watch this team, it gets my hopes up. They can't win 2 in a row. They've not won 2 games in a row since, the beginning of January? It's just so up and down, up and down. They lost to Chicago. No disrespect to the team. Despite what's going on in the background, but they lost like 11 in a row within the division, or they didn't get a victory for 11 in a row. And of course, the Jets come at home, brother.
And that's the thing. After that emotional win against Nashville, Wheeler had 5 points in that game. You think, okay, they're going to come back at home and be coming out strong and play hard and get that victory against Chicago going into this tough stretch that they're about to go on. But again, they disappointed, and it's again playing a weaker team. It seems that they play down, or think maybe they got enough talent that they don't have to play as hard again on those teams, right? And then they go and lay a thud. It's
been an issue for a while. That's been an issue for a while, brother, with this team. And you know what? We could talk about coaching changes. We could talk about COVID. We could talk about injuries. But I think it's time to really address this locker room. Like, who are the leaders in this locker room? Of course, it's a different sport and all, but, we've had guests. We have James West. We had Chris Walby. Check out those on our archives. But anyways, we had those guys talking about leadership, being in the dressing room, eliminating people that don't add to winning, don't add to the culture. Where is that leadership in the on the Jets team, man? To be honest with you, I'm not feeling it at all.
No, I haven't seen it either. And I think in seasons past, like Wheeler's always seemed to have struggled with that leadership role. We saw it like 2 or 3 seasons ago when they brought Matt Hendricks back, because they needed that leadership. So yeah, exactly. Where is it? When Bufflin left, maybe Bufflin was that quiet leader, right?
Absolutely.
Or maybe he was vocal in the dressing room or something, but something we didn't get to see or know. But yeah, since that's gone too, and it's just like someone's got to step up in these games. Especially against these games against lesser teams. Like they need these wins. They're still 7 points out of a wild card spot.
Yeah.
The only good thing here is they have 3 games in hand. But they need bottom 6 scoring, which they're not getting, and they need Nick Ehlers back so they can solidify those top lines. And Perfetti, Dubois, Connor, as good as they've been, really the points haven't been there. So they're dominating stretches or they're playing in the zone, but they're not getting enough goals or points there, right? So
yeah,
that needs to pick up too. So we'll see. But I've been excited seeing Heinola play. He's gotten way better since that first couple games. So we'll see who they take out. Is it going to be Heinola or Stanley on tomorrow night now that Pionk's back?
Yeah, and it never seems that they play a roster dependent on who they're playing, which they should be with depth. And I understand COVID injuries come into play, but come on already. Like we were supposed to have depth on this team, a strong front 9, a decent, 6 defensemen. And, I'm sorry, bro. There's something going on in the locker room. They don't have a locker room. They don't have a winning culture, and something has to change.
Well, even the winning goal that was given up there on Monday night, like Kopp didn't get the puck deep in the zone. Goodness. It came back there into the Jets zone and they scored. It's like, okay, well, Kopp made a mistake. Who else made a mistake in not stopping this play from developing into a goal? Like there was so many people you could probably blame, but at the same time, get it deep. How hard is it to throw that puck in deep? You're going for a line change or whatever you're doing, man. Yeah. And those are the little things that they keep messing up on this season.
Absolutely. Execution. And we look at them when they played well. They were a team that went all out, physical, played with speed. And it's not that, I don't think it's because they're not physically trained to be able to do that on game situation. It goes back to that, them playing down to the level of their competition. This has been in the Jets culture for years, brother.
Yeah.
This is not a first time thing, or it's not a new thing that we're hearing in Jets Nation here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And like you say that they were tough against Minnesota. They were tough against Nashville. How many fights in that Minnesota game? They weren't backing down. Lowry too in that the Minnesota game, and other guys stepping up in that Nashville game, and Nashville was coming at them strong, but they withstood that and they started to fight back and take that game over a bit, right? Yeah. But again, it's not always there. Against this Dallas team and Chicago team, it should be there, no problem, to run those guys over. And this stretch of theirs is not obviously getting easier, right?
No.
I mean, they got 2 games Wednesday and Thursday, one against a rematch against Minnesota. Who knows what's going to happen in that one? Oh, heck is going to break loose.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be a good game. I hope it'll be a good game.
And then you got Edmonton and Calgary Saturday, Monday. And Edmonton, who knows? Well, we'll see what we get there. But Calgary's been rolling too lately. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and they can't, they got to win at least 3 of those 4 again.
Oh, good luck with that, brother. Even the Oilers are starting to play better under that coach. We'll get to him in a second. They're playing a bit better defensively. So yeah, and you forgot to mention the Kraken. They got a Kraken in, and none of these games are given. That's a thing. I'd love to be able to forget about the Kraken and say, yeah, that's a whatever on the bingo card, but none of them are gimmies. But
that's the thing. Seattle should be with this team, right? But we don't know what we're going to get that day, right? So especially that they're playing Minnesota tomorrow. And it's a back-to-back, right? That game, who knows which way that game's going to go. And if it's another hard-fought battle, the Jets could be gassed by the time they play, have to go to Seattle and play the Kraken after that on Thursday. So could get ugly here again. But I think we said this last week, could get ugly. And then they came out and got 5 out of 6 on the road, which is still good, even though they lost to Dallas. But, then a thud in Chicago or against Chicago. So
hands in the air, brother. Hands in the air.
Wave them around like you just don't care.
I care, but I'm about to not care. Look, I'm already wearing different colors.
Yeah.
I'm already wearing different colors. Hey, I got this because Dale Howardchuck, when he played for St. Louis, I had to follow the man.
All right.
So that's why I got it.
For that, then I'll let it go.
Thanks, bro.
No bad comments. No bad comments.
Yeah, no.
Does it say Howardchuck on the back?
Oh, it's blank. It's blank. I didn't have that kind of money back then. I was in high school. Let's talk about that mini Jets game. Not about the whole game, but an incident in particular with Marcus Foligno kneeing or attempting to knee Lowry, either in the head or in the body. He got a 2-game suspension for that. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
It's terrible. I mean, they fought. They had I don't know, it wasn't much of a battle really, but they were lying on the ice for a while. And it looked like Lowry wasn't letting Foligno off. But at the same time, Foligno just takes his knee and starts rubbing it into the head of Lowry. Not kneeing him, but, pushing down and pressuring with his knee. And it's like, come on, dude. Like, there's no need for this kind of stuff. Like, the players always talk about, hey, the league should take better stance on headshots and all this stuff. But then the players also got to police themselves with this stuff. Or watch themselves, really, not police themselves, but watch themselves, what they're doing out there. And, taking a knee to some guy's head, especially on the ice,
it's horrible.
There's no give there. So.
No, you have to set precedents for stuff like that. Who cares if you had a clean history? The NHLPA wants to talk about player safety. Well, then stand behind the right decision.
Exactly.
Stuff like this should not be acceptable. 2 games is a joke. And it's not just the rubbing of the knee. It was the attempted knee shot that he took at him.
Yeah.
He was rubbing him, and then you hear the crowd, because it wasn't caught on camera right away. You hear the crowd and you see the Jets pointing, and then you look at it. He tried to knee the guy when he was down. Like, that's almost a borderline illegal move in the UFC.
Yeah.
So that should not be allowed in the NHL at all. And I get it. We're Jets fans and la, la, la. But, like, to be honest, a knee to the head. That should have been 6 games. Not the Marchand thing.
I guess if Orlov was only getting 2 games for Ehlers, I'm surprised that Foligno even got 2 games.
Well, that's the thing. A precedent was set. Oh, yeah, the knee there. Like, come on. And I honestly do think that Marchand 6 games is a joke. That was definitely, I agree with him. That was on the player, not the foul.
Yeah, but you know what? It's for this guy, it's like, how many times do you give him a chance with this stuff? Like, how many times has he been suspended? And really, why is he coming behind the goalie and punching him in the head?
I gave him a shot to the head, and that wasn't a real punch. Come on, now. The goalie I got shot by a bullet. He went down.
It's the goalie. The play was done, wasn't it? And it was.
That's fine. The goalie
wasn't even facing him, though.
The goalie yelled something to him at the end of that. You can see him chirping. So he got involved. He said something. I'm not saying Marchand should have done it, but 6 games, and then this player safety, player development.
Repeat offender, man. This guy never stops. He hasn't changed. He's kneed people in the head before who are lying on the ice. Like we just talked about it. He's just a dirty guy. And the thing I don't understand is he's such a good player, right?
Oh, he's super talented.
He's like one of the top players in the league, but yet he still does stuff like this. And I'm surprised he's never really gotten the crap kicked out of him in a game for the size that he is and with the guys out there.
I know, the game has changed back in the day. But yeah, that stick to the face is borderline too. But I don't know. I'd say 3 games is fine.
Maybe
3 games is fine.
But I'm good with 6.
I'm sure a lot of people agree with you, bro. A lot of people agree with you. Let's talk about some coaching changes in the NHL. Let's start off with Montreal. Ducharme is gone, and now you got Martin St. Louis with 0 head coaching experience. Good move, bad move, does it matter?
Well, he was coaching Pee Wee hockey, so he's got some head coaching experience somewhere, right?
Oh, well, throw him in then.
Perfectly fine. Not surprised by the firing. At the same time, I thought maybe Ducharme would last the whole season while, the Montreal front office figured their own roles out and what steps to take next. But
that's what they said.
I'm surprised by St. Louis, obviously coaching, because he was coaching Pee Wee. I'm like, where was he coaching before? I thought maybe he was an assistant in the NHL, AHL somewhere. No, nothing at all. So that kind of caught me by surprise. But one thing I think is maybe you can see what he can do for the rest of the season, right? And
yeah, of course.
If he sucks, because everyone expects him to probably fail.
Yeah.
But if he ends up actually being a pretty good coach or a decent coach, maybe they found something there and they got ahead of anybody else who might have went and picked St. Louis up for anything like this, right? I don't expect it to go well just because where he was coaching, and it's obviously a huge leap to get to the NHL from there. So
low risk, high reward.
Exactly.
Low risk, high reward.
Yeah. He got nothing to lose.
If he's terrible. He has name value. He's recently in the Hall of Fame. The players might relate to him. Some of them might have idolized him. He plays a similar game to what a lot of them would love to play. So why not? Just give him a shot, because they're out of it anyways. They have to win like 30-something out of 37 to win. Get out. They're not going to make the playoffs, bro.
Yeah, they're tearing that whole thing down. They started already by trading Tyler Toffoli there to Calgary.
Yes.
Got it seemed like we had a decent return for him. Calgary too. Another first rounder. So so they're already starting. I mean, there's always rumors of Ben Sherratt being traded for a first.
Take it. I would take it.
I don't know what team is trading that, but good God.
The Jets.
Please. I think my heart just stopped there for a second when you said that.
Let's look at Edmonton and their coaching change. We talked about this a few weeks ago, maybe early in the new year, about Dave Tippett might be getting fired. And here it is. It happens. Jay Woodcroft is in the house. Thoughts on that, brother? Pretty good move so far in the small sample size of a couple of games that he's had.
Yeah, again, another team here. I don't know if it's going to help. I still think Edmonton needs some help at goalie and on their D. So we'll see what it can do. But yeah, he started off well. Not the two toughest games they had to play there at all. And then they got a couple other ones coming up that aren't too bad. End of the month, though, they get Mini, Tampa, Florida, and Carolina. So at that point, we'll see if Woodcroft is any good. He's got Dave Manson with him there as an assistant. Old ex-Winnipeg Jetter.
The hardest shot. The hardest shot. NHL skills competition.
Yeah,
I think it's a good move. I think it's a good
with
move.
a wooden stick.
Yeah, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Ken Holland already said he's not going to pay premium for a goalie. So that's out the window. So, bring in a coach that plays a more defensive style. And, they got a shutout. So that's a good thing. A 20 shot shutout, which is kind of what you want to do with them as Edmonton. Limit the good shots.
Wasn't Tippett a defensive first coach? I mean, that's what he always was with Arizona, really. I know you had McDavid and Draisaitl, so that changes things, but
yeah.
I don't know, man.
It hadn't happened before.
Like, I mean, they beat the Sharks. Didn't they shut out the Sharks?
Yeah, Evander Kane got to beat the Sharks.
Yeah, the Sharks have been dropping quite a bit lately, so that's not a very impressive win to me yet. So, yeah, we'll see. That stretch at the end.
The framework is there.
But if this fails, then that means obviously the end of Ken Holland. Oof. And then you're starting from scratch once again with a new coach and GM. At what point is McDavid just going to say, screw this, or Draisaitl even? It's like, this is enough, man.
Yeah, they're in win now mode.
Yeah, without a doubt. He has to have a decent end to this season.
And why would McDavid want to stick around for a rebuild? Another rebuild? Forget that nonsense.
He's stuck though, right? He's got that contract. He's not going anywhere for a while. But
yeah. You saying no one would make a move for that guy?
Oh God, every team would make a move. They'd be idiots not to. But I don't think Edmonton's ever going to get rid of him.
Well, who knows? We'll see. They got rid of Gretzky, bro.
What? They traded Gretzky?
Yeah, bro, to the Kings back in the day. It was crazy. I'll send you the link on TSN. Let's talk about some NHL.
I haven't even heard that before.
It's crazy. All-Star Break Awards. We're not even talking about the All-Star Game. Whatever. I hate talking about All-Star games.
Great game.
I'm sure it was. But let's talk about the NHL Mid-Season Awards. Let's start off with the defenseman, the Norris. Who do you got winning the Norris so far?
I'm going to go with the Colorado guy, Cale Makar. He's my winner so far. He's putting up stellar stats again in leading Colorado on the back end.
Yeah, the guy's got almost 20 goals already. Not bad.
That's crazy, man.
Not bad.
And where he was drafted too. Like, he wasn't drafted anywhere. Wasn't top 15 even, was he?
I can't remember. I definitely can't remember that far back, bro. Put that on the Google machine. While you find that, I'm gonna go with Victor Hedman. He's a leading defenseman in points. He has the most points 5-on-5. He's leading. He's a pillar of a unit that's one of the best teams in the league. So I get it. He's old, and you got Makar, and you got Fox in New York, and you got Ekblad in Florida. Yeah, but he's holding his own as the old man there, the elder statesman.
Roman, oh, sorry. First, before I go on, I'm an idiot because Kale McCarr was drafted 4th overall.
That's fair.
Roman Yossi, he's another one that I'd say is up there.
Yeah,
he's had a pretty good season back in Nashville, and it's a big reason why Nashville's back up in those standings again.
Nashville.
Just don't go away.
No.
I thought they were finally done for a few years.
Oh well, maybe we should get Pierre Laviolette. Where's he at?
Where is he? Is he in Washington?
We should have talked about Jets coaches because that's going to come up soon. Any which way, we'll get back to that. Let's get back to Carlisle. What, bro? Come on.
Isn't he your favorite?
Let's talk about the Vezina. Favorite defenseman ever. Let's talk about the Vezina. I got Shesterkin on the Rangers. Like, they're just leaning on this guy. And they're not one of the best teams roster-wise in the league. Still young. And this guy's keeping him up there in the Metro. So Shesterkin for my Vezina.
I'm sticking in the Metro as well and going Tristan Jarry. I think he's done a pretty good job with Pittsburgh so far, keeping them up there. Like I said, they've been missing Crosby here and there, Malkin here and there, and I think Jarry's played pretty stellar so far this season.
Yeah. I kind of, I really want to give it to Frederick Anderson. Such a great story, but Shesterkin's awesome.
Yeah, and I have Anderson up there as well, and then you got Vasilevsky again, of course, too. But
yeah,
I had Shesterkin as well. But yeah.
Rangers would be trash without him for sure.
I'm not even going to say that name again.
Let's look at the Calder, the best rookie in the league. I got Trevor Zegras. He's not just getting points. Like, for a regular player, he's on a great average right now, but he's bringing a different style to the game. He's bringing a different attitude to the game, which I feel hockey needs. As you can look at episodes past and my thoughts on hockey culture. So I'll take Trevor Zegras as the Calder winner. Who do you got?
Yeah, I had to look into this one a little bit. I haven't really heard too much of, besides Trevor Zegras, actually. I had to look in to see who else was out there, but I'm going to go with Detroit guy, Lucas Raymond.
Oh, Detroit has 2 good rookies.
Yeah, that's Schneider. Is it Schneider? Yeah. And I was kind of shocked by that. I had heard Schneider's name a few times. I hadn't heard too much. Maybe I just don't hear enough about the Detroit Red Wings, but that's pretty good. You got 2 of those guys. Yeah, Detroit's building it back up again.
Future's bright without Ken Holland.
Yeah, good move.
Who's your heart winner? Who is your heart winner, brother, at the midway point?
What do you call him? Florida? I'm going to go with Jonathan Huberdeau as my heart guy.
Yeah. I think that's a good choice.
Pretty good season so far. Like I said, it kind of caught me off guard too a few weeks ago when I noticed where he was. So,
yeah.
And of course, Florida's up there in the standings too, so that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I had it's a toss-up right now. Huberdeau, Draisaitl, even Shesterkin should get a bit of a, recognition. Austin Matthews, your favorite market, he's still there. But I'm going to have to give it to McDavid.
Line is better, right?
Oh, goodness.
I think
so. I'm going to give it to McDavid, though, because when it comes to a toss-up like that, I'm just going to have to pick the best player that's there. So,
yeah. Yeah, I would not be shocked if at the end of the season McDavid wins it, right, or runs away with the scoring or anything like that. But right now, until Edmonton starts to improve a little bit, I know it's not always the MVP has to be on a winning team or anything like that, but Edmonton needs they need to start playing a little bit better as a team. So, and that kind of leans or pushes McDavid down in the Hart Trophy race, right? So.
For sure. Last award, the Jack Adams for best coach so far. Who you got? I got Andrew Brunette from Florida. Yes, he had a great team that he took over, but he took over a situation from Joel Quenneville that was really dicey and shaky, and they're just cruising along. It might be an easy pick, but I'm going to take him.
I'm going to take Paul Maurice. Sorry. No. Not a good one.
Funnily enough, the Jets were better under him this year. But let's go on.
So Dave Lowry wins. I'm going to take Jared Bednar of the Colorado Avalanche. Again, same thing. It's kind of seems like an easy choice, but the guy, Colorado started off rough. They had a new goalie in there, kind of get used to all that kind of stuff, and he's steadied the ship and he's brought him back to the top of the NHL standings.
Yeah, for sure. In the comments there, give us your award winners and check us out also on social media, Ray Benny Sports. Let's move on to the NFL and the weekend of all weekends, the weekend of ridiculousness, the Super Bowl. Another Super Bowl happened.
It had its moments.
The game was there.
Yeah, it had its moments like every Super Bowl usually does, right?
Yeah. It was an okay game. The third quarter was an absolute snooze fest. I don't remember anything happening in the third quarter. The ending was great.
Again, that's the Super Bowl, right? It's usually it comes down into the fourth quarter if it's a close game, and then one drive changes the game, and then, hey, what a fantastic game!
Yeah,
really, it was one drive by Detroit. Really, that's all they did the whole second half.
Detroit.
Yeah, all right, Detroit. I was thinking Matthew Stafford in Detroit. The Rams. Sorry, Detroit fans, I got your hopes up.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, they had the one drive, the Rams, the whole second half, right?
Absolutely.
And it ended up helping them win the Super Bowl. And hey, great drive, great play, Stafford this, Stafford that. But the D actually kept them in that. The D line kept them in that game for the Rams, especially when Cincinnati took the lead and they were up 20-13. They could have put that game away or ran away with it. And then the D line from the Rams started to step up. Von Miller as well there too, and Aaron Donald, and they started getting after Burrow and really changed that game around. And Cincinnati's offense couldn't really move down the field anymore.
Man, when it was 20-13, they only got 50 total yards after that.
Yeah,
Cincinnati had 50 total yards after they went up 20-13.
Terrible.
That's some coaching problems. I wouldn't say problems. That's a young coach in a situation. Cincinnati looked unprepared in the second half. They didn't look like they knew what they were doing at all. Even
going for it that early 4th and 1 around midfield, it's like, maybe, I guess you're thinking if you get it, it pumps your team up. But at the same time, you gave the Rams such short field, they end up scoring a touchdown. Punt it on that one, save that 4th and 1, for a little bit later in the game, not right at the beginning. And again, they still had a chance at the end, right? And
2 timeouts, a minute 30.
You start to get cute, like the bomb downfield on 2nd and 1. Why? You were moving it. You had to have those quick passes. Burrow didn't have enough time to get downfield for Chase. Then you get cute on 3rd down. Sam J.P. Ryan instead of Mixon. Like, what are you doing? Right?
Just go Mixon all the second half. I don't know what they were doing at that point.
My God.
They're averaging almost 4.5 yards per carry there. Why wouldn't you run the ball more? Why wouldn't you put it in Mixon's hands? And like you said, plenty of time. 2 timeouts, 1:30.
Yeah. There was no rush. There was no nothing.
Touchdown, at least to get a field goal.
Yeah. And it was just like you say, I think the moment got too much, I think, for Zach Taylor and his play calling. We were talking about this 2 weeks ago with Shanahan and his play calling there on the 2nd and 1 and all that. Zach Taylor followed him here, and got too cute on 2nd and 1, cute again on 3rd and 1, and then 4th down. You knew Donald was coming. That's the same way the Niner game ended with Donald going after Garoppolo. That's what he did here, So to me, and then Cooper Kupp, he showed up when he needed to on that drive.
Absolutely.
He showed why he was the best receiver in the season, in the NFL this season and in the playoffs. Totally deserved that MVP. I mean, I guess you could have gave it to him or Donald, but they always like to mainly give it to those offensive guys. But good thing they just didn't give it to Stafford, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, props him for getting his Super Bowl, but he didn't have the best game. He led that drive, made some good passes and all, but it was a pedestrian game for a quarterback. But he got his. You know what? What's his name? That journalist, Rob Parker, said that 10 different quarterbacks in the NFL could have guided the Rams to a Super Bowl. Now, Rob Parker's got to shut up already. That makes absolutely no sense. You don't know what he brings into the meetings, in the quarterback room, in the game planning as a veteran. That's absolutely ridiculous. You got to give props to Stafford.
Well, you do.
Not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but a Hall of Famer. And, they obviously didn't win without him before. So just goodness already.
Yeah.
Props
I mean, he came from a Detroit Lions team that was terrible, right? And
of course,
you know what? He's never even won a playoff game before.
No.
And now he guided them to what? 3, 4? Was it 4?
3 wins.
Yeah. So, he had a couple interceptions. He wasn't the greatest. I mean, the Rams couldn't move the ball once Odell Beckham got hurt. It slowed down for them quite a bit because, I mean, Cincinnati was playing Cup pretty well, and I just don't know what they did on that last drive. But yeah, Stafford, he hung in there and then he made the plays when he had to. Simple as that,
exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
Bengals had any type of O-line, they probably win this game, especially with Odell getting hurt like that. But yeah, they couldn't they couldn't save Burrow from all that stuff. And
No,
it's funny. Did you see that the last holding call on that third down play, which is kind of soft, when the Rams were going for a touchdown? Most of the O-line from the Rams false started on that play anyways, so it should have been called there.
Reffing.
I know there was calls missed throughout the game. There was a face mask on Higgins that people
it's the reason why there should be interference replay. Yeah. That is the number one reason why.
It's just too much, man. The refs, they change that whole game or have too much control over this game, right? So it's too bad.
I like the interference replay. They should. Yeah. They need to bring that back. It works well in the CFL. It doesn't add too much time.
No,
I don't know. Anyways, a passable Super Bowl game. The halftime show was more enjoyable than the game. I was waving my hands. I was doing this low rider thing all day with a. It was so good. I wish I had a 40 ounce on the side, like back in the day. Yeah. Old English. You know what I'm saying, bro? That was a good time seeing that halftime show. Your thoughts, your review on the NFL halftime show, because it's better than the game.
It was an amazing show. It was one of the ones that I was finally looking forward to after quite a few years of whatever they've had here, right? But to go with some 90s rap and hip hop was fantastic. Seeing Dre and Snoop, man, they all look old though. I'll give them that.
For sure, they don't look young anymore.
No, but they could bring it. I mean, 50 Cent hanging at 50 cents. 50 Cent hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Wearing that wife beater.
He has some padding under there. He hiding something, but that's okay. I got stuff to hide too, so I'm not going to judge.
Once you get to that age, it's a little bit harder to keep that off, right? So
but that was a great show.
It was fantastic. They're all good. Mary J. Blige was good. Eminem taking the knee.
Dude, shoving it to Goodell. I love that. I remember listening to Eminem first time in the Pony, bro.
Oh yeah, that was probably. I had it rocking in there quite a bit.
Yeah, you had it on rotation. Eminem and Limp Bizkit.
Hey man, Limp Bizkit. I still like some Limp Bizkit tunes, man.
Yeah, if only we could fly. Any which way. Producer Grammy's shaking his head. He's like, "Move on, yo. This ridiculous." So, anyways, that was a great halftime show. It's up there with Prince and Michael Jackson and Beyonce in New Orleans. She set the lights off on your San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, she helped us out actually, because then the Niners took over that game and probably should have won, but dude, you got Colin Kaepernick run the ball once inside the 5 there. What are you throwing 3 fades to Michael Crabtree?
You got him started. Friends and neighbors.
Still, exactly.
You got him started.
I'm not even be able to sleep tonight just thinking about that.
Let's talk about the NFL awards from this year. Sorry to bring that up, brother. We're just talking about halftime shows. Beyonce, that was a great halftime show. No need to get into that. Okay, we'll move along. NFL awards. Man, I remember early when that whole Joe Rogan thing came about, and I said Aaron Rodgers is going to mess around and get the MVP, and look at this nonsense. He gets the MVP. Do you have any debates on any of these awards that were given out for the NFL honors?
No, not too many. The only one with Rodgers there, like you would think I thought maybe Tom Brady might be able to squeeze that one out. He ended up with better stats than Rodgers. I know Rodgers, they ended up with a better record, but the voting was quite in the favor of Rodgers, which I was kind of surprised. I thought because of his controversy earlier and Brady actually having a statistically a better season,
absolutely,
that he might have gotten it. But I guess, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a bad choice, but we'll see where he ends up this offseason. Is he staying in Green Bay? Is he going somewhere else?
We got lots of time to talk about that.
Any other awards? No. I mean, Jamar Chase, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Mika Parsons, Defensive Rookie. Nick Bosa should have won Comeback Player of the Year, though, over Joe Burrow.
You know what? I think... What? Hold on, what?
I said Nick Bosa should have beat Joe Burrow for Comeback Player of the Year, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you can make an argument for that.
He came back from a defensive lineman, still racking up sacks, still getting double teamed. But I get it. Joe Burrow's got that look.
I think the coach for the Raiders I already forgot his name because he was fired and they brought in
Rich
Bianchi. Yeah, he should have won Coach of the Year. What he did with the Raiders. I'm not really impressed with what Vrabel did with Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, Vrabel, yeah.
Yeah, they won games that they were supposed to win. They had a soft schedule, kind of. And what's the big deal?
You know what? They had some actually impressive wins. They beat KC, Buffalo. They went through a good stretch there of beating playoff teams or last year playoff. Like they did not bad, but I agree with you. It almost seemed an uninspiring kind of team, especially getting knocked out the way they did against the Bengals without putting up much of a fight there.
Yeah.
So that takes it away from me too. I know that doesn't count. I don't think the playoff, it's just a regular season award, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought there were more deserving people of that, but sure. Able Coach of the Year. Let's move on to the CFL. Man, we thought the CFL after Grey Cup would be kind of quiet, but it's been pretty busy. It's been nonstop action. The Bombers again getting 3 big pieces, or maybe there might be more. Brandon Alexander, Dietrich Nichols, and we got a backup quarterback in Dakota Prukop. So not bad so far for the Bombers in the offseason, bro.
No, and did we mention? Or was it afterwards? Greg Ellingson as well signing.
We got him in last week, but for sure.
Did we have it last
week? Greg Ellingson. Yeah, because we were talking about him playing wide out with Wolotarski and stuff.
Oh, right. Maybe when we were talking to Walby. I forgot when we were talking to Walby. That's where we ended up talking about it. Yeah, I don't know much about Dakota Prukop. I know he's been around for the CFL for quite a few years. Has he actually ended up starting any games at all?
I think he might have started one or came in for a couple. He's looked okay. He can move. He's a good athlete, so it'll be definitely good for those short yarded situations. Not as big as Strebler.
At least he's got some CFL experience, so they're not starting off with someone new and teaching them the game at the same time. So it's too bad Sean McGuire didn't pan out or stick around. But even when he played that one game last year, McGuire didn't look great. I know it was a lot of backups, but he struggled quite a bit throwing that ball even into quadruple coverage sometimes. So
yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And I'm still not confident in that backup situation.
No.
If Collaros goes down, oh boy, that running game better be ready to carry the team because they need to find someone. The scouts need to find maybe a strong American athlete quarterback.
Yeah, they got their work cut out for them, right? Brandon Alexander might not be back till halfway through the season.
August, you say?
Yeah, so that's quite a bit of games. You're going to need, a good enough safety to be there to fill in for him, because he brings a lot to that D and that hard hitting style. Changes the game.
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Oh,
receivers don't want to go up the middle with that guy playing.
No. Like how many guys has he crushed over the last few years?
Lots.
The crazy thing is he got hurt in the second quarter of the Grey Cup.
And he still played. Bro.
How did he do it?
Champion. Heart of a champion. Shout out to Brandon Alexander.
Yeah.
I
don't get it, man.
The king with his crown. Yeah. Let's move on to CFL. Free agent signings. Lots of action going on, including Deron Carter coming back to the Oaks.
Woo!
As a receiver, bro?
Nah. As a DB. Yeah.
Nah, he says. Nah. For sure, it's a DB. So that's a weird one. Chris Jones, opening eyes, surprising people, having fun, entertaining. He always wants to be in the spotlight. But 3 big signings. We'll go 1-to-1 here, brother. Give me one of your big signings so far in the CFL free agent period.
To me, I'm going to go with Jeremiah Mazzoli in Ottawa. They've done a lot of work in Ottawa. They've signed a lot of guys. Yeah. If Mazzoli doesn't end up being that guy, it's all going to fail. So to me, he needs to succeed. Paul Lapalisse needs to help him succeed. Otherwise, Lapo's probably gone at some point this season if they're not. And this whole season is going to be a disaster. And all these free agent signings are going to be a disaster for Ottawa.
Yeah, especially with that new GM. He might have an even shorter leash with him.
Yeah.
He might want to bring his own guy in. One of the signings I have was Stevie Richardson, former Bomber, the Stove, going to BC. When he was healthy, that dude was a game changer. He's a force. Remember Doug Brown and Jerome Haywood? Remember that little dude beside Doug Brown? He reminds me of that, the little fire hydrant that plugs holes and can push 2, 3, 4 guys at one time. So I think he'll be good for BC, pairing him up with, what's his name? Woody Barron for the BC Lions. What's your next one, brother?
Yeah, actually, I had Steven Richardson as well on my list. big loss for the Bombers. We got to see if they can find a replacement. I know we have the guys that are always talked about on that line are Willie Jefferson and Jeff Goat, but Steven Richardson in that spot, like you say, he does a lot of damage there. So Bombers are going to miss him.
Yeah, he was a wrecking ball for sure. You don't miss him for sure. For Hamilton, I got them signing. I love that line, offensive, defensive line. I'm all up in that. Micah Johnson from Saskatchewan. Pairing him up with Ted Laurent and Wynn just gives them probably the best defensive line. And that's not. We got Jefferson, Jeff Goat here, and Thomas obviously, but that's a formidable defensive line right there in Hamilton.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, if they can, and then you got Simone Lawrence, following that up. So
yeah, no one's gonna touch him. He's gonna be able to run wherever he wants. Yeah. That D-line, bro. That D-line.
Got to protect Collaros when we play them big time.
Oh gosh, we got that O-line. Who else you got on that free agent signing, brother?
I'm gonna stick D-line as well and go Jagarrett Davis for the Toronto Argonauts signing.
Yes,
another big move, like we say, I know we've heard other professionals say it. O-line, D-line, if you got those, that's a good starting point for your team, right? And weaker offense can win a lot if they got one part of that. They got the O-line and you got a decent running game. Your passing game doesn't need to be great. Your D-line, your D can be good. Your cornerbacks could suck as long as your D-line are good, right? So
absolutely,
to me, that's a big move there for Toronto.
Yeah, let's keep it on the line here. I'm going with Edmonton, bringing a hometown boy back. I think he's hometown, Edmonton or Sherwood Park. Mark Cote from the Ottawa Red Blacks. Huge signing, especially with James Wilder coming back. A smart signing because Edmonton's been boggling my mind, giving receivers $300,000, bringing in a Darius Bowman, Chris Jones. What the F? But this signing, smart signing. Bring the guy back home. Who else you got, bro?
That's all I had. Those are the three. Right. But I will mention a couple other interesting ones that I find interesting. We'll see what happens. But Speedy B in Toronto, Brandon Banks signing there. We'll see how he does. And then Trevor Harris in Montreal, backup, I guess, to Vernon Adams. A couple interesting ones for me.
That's true. And of course, we'll see how our boy Andrew Harris does in Toronto. A huge Canadian signing. He can either have a huge year or, who knows, reality check.
He's got that chip on his shoulder. He's ready, right? He feels, well, I don't know if it was a little disrespected or not, or if that was the headline kind of thing, but
yeah, that's a headline.
It's hard though, right? Because he was negotiating himself. So there's no agent in between to kind of soften the blow of the news or what they think of you and all this kind of stuff, right? So it makes it a little bit harder, but we saw when he came over from BC, he had that chip on his shoulder and he wanted to prove Wally Buono and the rest of the CFL wrong, so if he can stay healthy, I see him having a decent season.
I root for him, especially with one game only against Winnipeg. So go Andrew Harris, prove your thing, bro. Prove your thing.
Still can't get over that.
That's the CFL happenings for this week. Let's give a bit of a shout out and look at the Canadian Olympic team. Some recent happenings. Things weren't looking too good at the beginning of the Olympics, or even starting to today. Canada was on a trajectory to getting its lowest gold medal count. And that's kind of weird to me sometimes because we're like fourth or something like that, or fifth in total medals. I think that's important too, but those gold medals, we only have 2, but we won one today in speed skating after an 8-day wait. So congrats to the Canadians. Valerie Malte, Evanine Blondin, and Isabel Weidman beating Japan in a Olympic record time of 53:44. So our second gold medal is there. What you got on the Olympics front, bro?
Yeah, like you say, it seems a little bit disappointing. The numbers are up for sure. They got 17 total medals, but only 2 gold.
Yeah.
Right. 11 of them are bronze. So it doesn't seem like the strongest game so far coming out of Canada, but still a bit of ways to go. I always expect them to be able to do well in the Winter Olympics, considering how cold it is in winter here and all this kind of stuff. But so far, I mean, for me, you got the women's hockey team playing in the final tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow night against the USA. So they've looked pretty impressive.
That'll be tight.
They got some good goaltending that first game against the US. So they're going to need it again because the US had 50-something shots. I think the goalie from Canada, I can't remember her name now, set a record for most saves in the Olympics. in a game, men's or women's. So
that's crazy.
51 saves it was. So yeah. So they're going to need a better effort there. But hopefully they can pull out that gold and get Canada another one there. The men's are in the quarters against Sweden.
That's huge.
You know, after beating that powerhouse China team today, 7-2. Yeah. How did they even score 2 goals?
Hey, they started off quick, boy. They started off quick. They underestimated it, and then they came and they finished business. And I actually like watching this Canada men's team because it's not a lock for sure. You know, I've never been a fan of the NHL players not being there, and I'm actually involved in watching. And yeah, all props to them.
Yeah, I don't expect them to end up beating Sweden, but we'll see. Or you know, hopefully they can play somewhere in the medal standings. But yeah, I don't expect too much there. And then in curling, what's up with us in curling? I thought Canada was good at curling.
Yeah, as a non-curling follower who is Canadian, I thought they'd be doing better. But you know, they're scratching and clawing trying to get in there, especially our Jennifer Jones. She started off with a win, lost 3 in a row, 1-2 today. Man, she has to keep winning.
Yeah, and then the mixed doubles team ended up getting knocked out. Not even attempting a medal. How are the men's doing?
Oh, they're there. They're there. What's his name? Gushu.
Yeah.
He can also make the medal round, but I think they get eliminated if they lose and a couple other teams under them win. So they're okay, but if they win, they win. And they're in. So just finish it like that. Finish it like that, I hope.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It's funny because you can almost always you can bank on the women's getting a gold at least, or a medal, I mean, in hockey. And then you always could bank that the men's were probably going to end up with a medal as well. But this time I'm not banking on the men's actually doing it. So it'll be interesting to see.
One thing I don't understand is this Russian Olympic Committee team. I don't get it. like you can't fly the flag, you can't wear the flag, but you can wear the country's colors. Like, are they suspended or not?
It's Russia, man. They can do whatever they want.
Exact. Careful, man. You're gonna get us in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Careful. We got listeners in Russia, bro. You're gonna get us in trouble. Come on, man.
That. I take that back.
No. Let's move on to Benny's Brickhead of the Week before we get in trouble. Benny, who do you got on your Brickhead of the Week before you get in trouble with Russia? Tell us.
Yeah, I had a few options this week. I'm gonna stick to there's always seems like there's a few options every week, right?
For sure.
I'm going to end up giving it to Marcus Foligno for his brickhead move against Adam Lowry, who was lying prone on the ice and couldn't really do anything. So Marcus Foligno, let's see you tomorrow night what you do. But for this week, you're the brickhead of the week, my man.
What a jabroni. I hope him and Adam Lowry go at it right at the beginning. Get that out of the way.
Just drop him right down.
Yeah, is Stanley playing next game?
Who?
Logan Stanley.
I guess it depends. Who's coming out? Hanel or Stanley?
Ooh,
they're both in the other night, but Pionk was out, right? So we'll see. We'll see who gets bumped.
I think in a game like this, you got to play Stanley if it's going to be physical.
Probably, but Twitter is going to be ablaze when that happens. I know, because Hanel is just getting better and he's ready to win the Norris next year. I get it, Twitter. Bless you all. I'm going to give my hot dog out. Sorry. That was Benny's Brickhead of the Week. Our next segment, friends and neighbors' favorites, eat that hot dog. There's that good music. I'm going to give it to the Seattle Kraken for making NHL history by having the first all-black announced team coming up against our Winnipeg Jets. They got Everett Fitzhugh doing the play-by-play with the analysis done by JT Brown. Black History Month. Shout out to Seattle Kraken. Y'all got a couple hot dogs from me. Right on. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to give out to our boy and favorite Winnipegger or ex-Winnipegger, Patrick Laine.
Oi.
13 points in 6 games. Right now, he's sitting at a point per game average in the NHL after coming back from injury. Scored the winner against Montreal the other day with 9 seconds left. Just had 3 games with 2 goals per game. I think he's back. Seems like he's back. He may be playing for that contract, but right now he's back. And Patrick Laine gets my hot dog of the week.
Dang,
hot dog of the week. He just gets a hot dog.
Oh, you can get the hot dog of the week. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
If you're giving that one. I thought you were going to say Evander Kane for a second there.
No.
Winnipeg boy. Give him a hot dog for that 3-0 win over the Sharks, but you're not.
Did he do anything? I don't even think he did anything. No points for him.
4 shots on net. That's good.
4 shots. Woo.
Yeah, 4. Shout out to Kevin Longfield on Facebook. Still leaning towards Leo Lewis as a better Winnipeg running back than Andrew Harris. That's hard to debate. For sure, Leo Lewis was amazing. He also played receiver, quarterback, whatever. He was all there. So shout out to Kevin Longfield and also to Trevor Smith, giving reasons why Andrew Harris is a good running back, powerful, north-south runner, humble beginnings, and leadership skills. Great points. So don't forget to comment on social media. Give us a shout out. Benny. Oh, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here underneath where I'm pointing or somewhere in the cloud. Benny, anything to say to the people with them fingers?
Just going to give a quick shout out as well to Alexandria Ludit, who is part of the Olympics ski jumping team for Canada, who ended up with the bronze medal. So shout out to her for that.
Shout out.
Other than that, have a good week. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and in the words of Vince Lombardi, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Be safe, be kind, help each other out. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what you think.